World Biodynamic Day, 501, 508 stir. Here's crock, and here's rainwater going into the crock. Gonna put in about maybe 10 gallons, and then add 501, which is these little powders that are kept in the sun. And then after 45 minutes, we're gonna add 508, which is fermented horsetail. And then it's going to be stirred with the stick, which I made as it's a sassafras sapling that I peeled and presented to my husband for Christmas one day as his Christmas present. And it's our stirring stick, one of them. Anyway, so there we go. So that's that. That's that part. You can take a break while I fill this up. But they're happy. So you might want to get down in here. I don't know if you can see that well. But the idea is to create a vortex, and so what I do is imagine a circle. You don't put the stick right next to the edge, but you can start it there. You just start it, and you get it moving to the right, and you want to get the water whirling. And then I move the stick in to the middle, and it kind of works your gut a little bit. And you want to get the vortex, which you're doing, that's what you're doing, you're creating a vortex. You want to get that all the way down to the bottom of the bucket if you can. Get that energy really going. And then I change hands because everything's balanced. And then I start break into what they call the chaos. And then we're moving in the other direction. So there's everything in life is dual. You got male and female, sun and moon, night and day. So you're basically activating the biodynamic prep by doing this. And this is done for an hour. So what time is it? It is actually 10 of 7. We should have started 2 hours ago. But that's all right. We're still in the morning hours.
What's in there now?
I'm just estimating. You can buy the preps.
And that is what?
This is ground up crystal that has been buried in a cow horn through the summer. So it's been buried in the ground. You know, I think we left it in, we buried it in the spring and dug it up in the fall, like 25 years ago. So anyway, I'm putting in about a teaspoon of this. Okay. Watch out for that edge. And this is horn clay, which is good for sandy soil, which was made and gifted to me by Hugh Lovell. So I'm going to add a unit of that as well. It has to be stirred for 1 hour. So let's see, it's 10 of 7, so at 10 of 8 we'll be done.
But when do we put the
other stuff in at, let's see, 10, that's half hour would be 20 after, so at 7:35, 7:35. So now it's funny. Everybody has their own style. Casey and I differed on how to stir the prep. Some people like to use their arm. They stick their arm in there and stir it with their arm. And then there's big farms that use stirring machines. But they say that the best quality preps are hand stirred. It's just like hand gardening compared to the tractor farming. There's no comparison for putting human energy directly into something. Kind of like hand mixing instead of using the mixer. Anyway, so.
Does it matter how often you switch direction, or
I like to breathe and let it rest for a second, and I breathe.
Okay.
And then switch hands, and then, that's my method, but Casey's style is this to get the thing going.
Are you all the way down the bottom?
Yeah, the stick's already down the bottom.
So it's hitting the bottom.
Yeah, it's hitting the bottom, and I hit the edge of the stick at the beginning, close to the rim,
and then you take it in.
And then I take it in. I need to go blow my nose. Alright, you got that? Alright. I have a childish wish. I wish I could see those endless poisoned houses with their poisoned lawns and perfect images transformed into gardens of Eden. Chemical free. where toads and snakes and birds and butterflies roam free. And there are places to sit and chat. Grapes, figs, and raspberries to eat. Swings and giggling children and friends to talk to. I wish that lawns over 20 by 20 would go out of fashion. Save the bay, I wish. That was a poem that just had to come bubbling up when we did that directory. So
those are the best poems.
Yep. Well, it's just after you stir for a while, the water actually changes its energy and it becomes easier to stir. It's like more fluid, and it also makes these little, I don't know if you can see down here inside the vortex, but you should see these little bubbles. See the little bubbles into the vortex, which wasn't there before. And it just sort of develops and does kind of like this really kind of artistic patterns as you're stirring. The bubbles do a
Yeah, there's definitely more foamy stuff.
Oh, yeah.
See it? It's like starting to develop. So, and I don't know whether that's from the 508 or what, but it also does it with the barrel compost. It's more like a sign that the water is energized, that it's that the stirring is effective. So it sort of develops.
Oh, you put the horsetail in.
Yeah.
Okay. I
Yeah.
missed that
So
part.
we've got 5 more minutes before we're done, and then we can start spraying. So, you can, yeah, we do one more. I want to explain how towards the end there is a noticeable change if you're aware of it. If you have to be a little sensitive to it, but it's really nice to stir with several people because everybody has their own energy, and you can see how I stir, and you can see how. And you can also feel the amount of energy it takes to put in there, to get that vortex down there. So, go ahead.
I like this stick because you also just kind of find where your hands fit on it.
I love giving away walking sticks. I've got all these young sapling trees. And those, the vines have grown around and made that kind of little twisted thing. I paid $25 for this crock. I love stirring in the crock instead of a 5-gallon bucket.
It's nice.
Yeah. Well, it gives you room for the vortex to not splash out of the bucket. And so you can add a little extra water, I love that sound.
Going to filter it out into a sprayer.
Oh, that looks great. Is that like?
It's just an old
like
curtain.
netting. Okay. Oh, okay. That's cool.
You just don't want it to clog the sprayer.
No. That's great.
Put a little valerian energy from the habanero farm. The flowers I stole from her garden. Somebody was talking about me thieving plants. We're not thieving, we're bartering. I got what I want, and she comes out here and she's going to get cuttings of what she wants.
Yeah.
But she's got to show up.
Yeah, that's half the battle.
Yeah, it's actually showing up. About done. Cheryl, let's head out here and go and finish up in that pasture. I'll go over here and
Which side of you?
it's really low down there, isn't it? See, Sage, she's like, I'm a little bit nervous about you weird people with these weird machines. Look at her.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on? We're gonna get you, Sage. Wow, that's curious. $100.
Do you need me to hold that up for you while you're getting that? Oh, you got it. No black.
Let's
Don't
look
say
in
black
there.
laser. I'm not.
It's called a BC pit. It was where the barrel compost was made. And then I used it afterwards for storing the biodynamic preparations. So there's a crock in here that had peat moss, and the peat moss is all turned back into soil. But it used to be peat moss in here that was protecting the biodynamic preparations from radiation. Because basically biodynamics is kind of energy work, earth energy work. So here's one. This is the last place to store them. I think that's all I got down there.
Do you always, does everybody do it in the soil? Underneath
No,
the soil?
no, everybody has their own system. Some people keep them in a box, a wooden box in a barn.
Okay.
Or the JPI, before it was taken over by this new group and bought a new farm and moved everything off, actually built a cave to store them. They built a cave and then had stone cave. It was beautiful. All right,
I
so
might be living in one.
this is, let's see. These tags are wonderful because you don't lose. This
Now
is
tell
the
us
five-
what that is actually.
This is 500.
Which is what?
It is cow manure from a cow, not a bull, not a steer, not a calf. And it's cow manure that has been gathered from an organic cow that's being fed on grass, not a feedlot cow that's on fed commodities. So you can't just use any old cow shit. It has to be a righteous cow that hopefully has horns and that has had a calf. How can you have a cow without a calf, right? You have to have a calf before you can get milk. So it's a cow. So this is the nettle preparation from this one, which we don't need. We're not using that today.
Does that have a number?
It's called 505.
I knew it. They must have a
Oh.
number.
505. I think it's 505. 505, yep. I believe it's 505, but it's the nettle preparation, and it's from my own nettle. And I also make
be.
507 and 501, and this 500 is also from me. I think I mixed it with some 500 that came from Jeff Poppins' Barefoot Farmer farm down in Tennessee. So look at this stuff. It's like clay,
Yeah.
and it's
Yes.
it's like clay. So a unit. Now we did 501 and 508 this morning at daybreak. Me and Valerie and Cheryl, and she recorded it on her recorder.
Nice.
So this is the balance. This is the earth balance, and this is made by stuffing the cow manure into a cow horn and burying it in the earth over the winter. And sometimes it's even buried for an entire year. So a unit is about the size of a black walnut. So
that's all you're going to use?
for an acre, that's
Did you
enough.
do this once a year?
Well, I used to
With
do.
these
I've done it for
peppermint?
25 years, but I stopped doing it after
Okay.
the last 5 years because
But
I got.
typically it's done once a year.
It's
at this
done.
time.
Different farmers do different things
Okay.
and do all sorts of things, but it's traditionally used every spring and every fall.
Okay.
And then the
fall is a
501,
different one?
and yeah, every spring and every fall, the earth ones.
Okay.
And the 501 is normally done in the summer after plants are growing. But so I'm going to do enough for all 5 acres because we did all 5 acres this morning, and so I'd like to do all 5 acres tonight. So we're going to do 5 of these. And it's a lot easier to do it, you know, with the 500 than it is with the 501. So, all right. This was about the tennis ball size of Biodynamic 500, and I already explained what that was, right? All right. And then the barrel compost, which is done in that pit, is made by putting all the biodynamic preps in cow manure and putting it in that pit. And it's stirred with a hoe for an hour and then put in the pit. But all the compost preps are put in the barrel compost. So a person who's just beginning to farm a piece of land that's been chemically treated or is sick, the first thing they usually do is start a compost pile, put the preps in the pile, and get barrel compost and spray it on the land. It's very easy and effective, and it starts the process. So we're going to do the stirring again. I put a little bit more water in this one because I put 5 units in it, and it
And how long does this stir?
Same amount,
an hour.
So it's now 10 of 6, and at 10 of 7 we'll be done, and then we can go around and spread it on the land. All right, so the process, these guys have never done it, so they're pretty. I love this explanation because at one point I was going to say, this is just craziness. I can't do this. And I don't understand how this works. And this young man who was just fired up about biodynamics, who's a Colombian Indian from South America, who was adopted by a Methodist priest or a preacher or whatever, came here and he was just wanting to learn, and he went all over the world. He even went with Peter Proctor, who did that One Man, One Cow, One Planet with his girlfriend. His girlfriend is now working for Demeter. She's one of the certifiers for Demeter, which is incredible. But anyway, as a young man, before they got together, he came here one time and he said, okay, if you look at the 501 and the 508, you know, that's like the heavenly forces, and if you put your arms up like we're doing the exercises, you know, put your arms up to the heavens, that's the heavenly energy, that's the cosmos, that's the heavens. It's kind of the man, woman, heaven, earth kind of yin-yang thing. And then you have your feet spread out like that, so right in the middle is your solar plexus, and that's where man is, right in the center of heaven and earth, because it's our actions that connect heaven and earth. You know what I'm saying? That's our role, is to be that connection. It's our action that creates the energy from the heaven and the energy of the earth. It creates this force that we can put our minds and our bodies into. So Steiner was saying it's very important to get the head and the farm and the university together. It's very important, and we've disconnected the farm and the university. We are not connected that way, and that's what I think. That's the. I don't know if that makes sense. It's like, anyway, it's mixing. It's finding practical, putting your mind into and your body to work together in a practical way.
Well, it puts us in the center,
right?
Because we want to grow stuff. Because nature doesn't really need us in the center there.
We're just a bridge. Because it's our if we want to,
we can block it or we can allow it.
Well, I mean, if you go up in an airplane and you look it down at man on Earth, you can see the difference between man and nature really easily by looking at the patterns from the plane. Mountains and rivers all have these jagged edges, just like plants all have these diffracted jagged edges everywhere. Everything that man does is all these straight lines and circles and geometric shapes. So I think it's interesting that your place is very weedy and so is mine. People pull in here and they're like, oh, it's so
And what is your name? Iris. Good job, Iris.
You gonna have your mom do it?
Yeah, have your mom do
Tell her
it.
how to do it, though.
You have to ask every time.
What's she have to do?
I work for myself, so once I know my students are okay.
And what does she need to get to try and get it to do?
Yeah. But if they're new, yeah, I always.
There you go.
Yeah, I'll always do. And I try to do it over. What do I do?
I'm going to show you. This is some broom corn that I grew. So basically, what you do is you take this and you just fling it. Go like this.
Really? So not just on the plant. You can go on anything.
No, it's just like you're putting the energy out there.
Now, do you want me to go
We'll
over
get
there?
the Free Hugs Project TV and your socks, your new fashion statement.
Oh my God!
You fit right in, Cheryl. There she goes.
Absolutely.
There she
Doing
goes.
the biodynamic dance. That's the way they do it in America. In India, it's not quite that way.
Oh.
Go finish the rest of the bucket. Just walk around and just tell me where you